Yeah, okay, I guess I'm ready. Let's start. Yes.
はい。国際関係学科の高坂です。皆さん、こんにちは。学生さんを中心に多くの方に参加していただいてとても嬉しく感じています。今日はiCoToBaビデオプロジェクト事業グローバル参加としてのメディア制作ということで、ハック先生とそれから学生の皆さんにご報告いただきます。で、iCoToBaの授業でハック先生は英語学習とそれからメディアリテラシーを組み合わせたプロジェクトというのを行われました。で、今日はそのプロジェクトの内容とそれから実際に完成したその映像作品を先生とそれから学生の参加学生の皆さんにご紹介いただきます。とても楽しみにしています。では時間も限られていますのでよろしくお願いします。
はい。じゃあこんにちは。そうですね。iCoToBa多言語学習センターのハックです。So I'm the lead teacher at iCoToBa here at Aichi Prefectural University, which puts on these sessions. And I will speak in English today, but maybe mix a little Japanese. And I will ask the students for comments as well. And in that case, 学生日本語でコメント全然大丈夫です。So as it says on the flyer, the iCoToBa Multilingual Learning Center has been putting on these English language media projects to combine language learning with media literacy and global issues. And we've had some very interesting results. So let me just share the slides first. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so yeah, basically this is a place to kind of showcase the projects, to kind of show and have a space to publicly show the projects. But I also kind of want to explain the context and process behind the projects in which we made these videos. And I'd like to give a little sense of what motivated me and to put on these projects, why I think they're a good idea for iCoToBa. Okay, so this is basically the schedule. I might change it around a little bit. We're going to mix it up a little bit. Mainly introduce the project and the concepts, show some clips. I'm not going to show the full videos of each because that would be quite long. So I'm going to show kind of shortened versions. I took ちょっとabridged version をさせていただきました so that you can see a shorter version. So I will put the links to the full videos on the chat. So if I don't do that, remind me so you can see it. And then after we're finished, after I show the videos, I'd like to give some more comments and kaisetsu from myself, but also hear from the students as well. And if we want to have a Q&A at the end, we can as well. So that's what we'll work on. Okay, so first to talk about is that iCoToBa was founded as part of the グローバル人材育成推進事業 from the 文部省 the Ministry of Education, the Global Human Resources Development Program. And that program is ended, but we still kind of continue that legacy of kind of a globally informed, like global focused language education here at iCoToBa. And iCoToBa especially has been a place to do project-based learning, PBL. So that's gaining popularity in foreign language education and other places too. So project-based learning is a student-centered type of language education where students are given a goal and they are meant to work independently towards that goal. And the language skills are meant to be applied towards that goal. Now, our biggest example was the Kyodo project, the collaborative projects. Some people in this group already participated in them already, I think. So these are where students collaborate with some outside organization to produce an English promotional material to fulfill that organization's needs. So like a guidebook, a pamphlet, advertisement, things like that. So we've worked with local and regional businesses, with tourist organizations. We worked with the World Cosplay Summit one year and did many other things like that. And so the media projects come from that tradition at our center. And I kind of wanted to move away from print, because these are all like guidebooks and written materials, more toward audiovisual media, because it's a good way to combine the language learning with critical and civic media literacy, which I'll talk about in a moment. And also, as it says here, these projects so far, the Kyodo project, were kind of built under the what they call the 21st century skills, 21世紀スキル paradigm. So it's basically kind of a business or job training type of focus. Now that of course has its merits. Everyone needs a job. But I wanted these media projects to work more as a space where media and language and culture can kind of mix together as sort of more of like a global citizenship type focus. And that's what started our focus. Okay. And this is related to kind of recent ideas about media literacy, in university education. Now, media literacy, some people now say media and digital literacy, is the idea that in education, or you want to the students to come out of college being able to use and understand media in kind of responsible and proactive ways. And media can mean, of course, the images and genres of the media you see here, but it also means the actual platforms and the technological tools that they use as well. So standard definitions of media literacy are what they call like a skills approach, like a can-do, like things like access, analyze, evaluate, create, these type with media. So this is this mix of critical, 批評的, 批判的, and functional, 実用的, capabilities with media. So that's kind of the standard idea of media literacy. And this takes kind of two forms in language education mainly. One is kind of called like employability, the idea that you need to get good at media to get a job, a good job. And that's true. And that's what the 20th century skills paradigm is about. Okay. And then the other has been called by one scholar a protectionist approach, 身を守る主義, right? So this is the idea that like media are kind of trying to trick you somehow or give you bad information. You know, things like political bias in news or like advertisements giving you ideological messages, things like that, or fake social media pushing fake news. This idea that being media literate means protecting yourself from the bad media. And I'm from a humanities background, film and media studies, cultural studies. So kind of this is how I was taught with media. And I teach it still in many classes as well, if you've taken my film type classes. And these are both very important, I think, the employability and protectionist. These are both skills. But there's one other aspect which is very important if we want to think about what it means to engage with media responsibly in our current society. So both of those last approaches, they tend to neglect that media actually are constructive of social experience, right? Especially if you're trying to get beyond your local experience and connect with the world. メディアはその大きい世界の経験を作るのです。They make your experience with the world. And so it's the idea that media images and networks give us these like common like materials, these common materials, and for understanding, many people, ちょっと待って。Let me let a few people in, just make sure. Everybody's in now. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, they like that we get these common frameworks for understanding and participating in society through media. So it's not just what media does to us, and not just what we can do with media for our jobs, but us and media are kind of being social together, always. So obviously one of the easy examples is global fan culture. So you have here a picture of Star Wars fans in Taiwan. So the idea that we have this common repertory, this common repertoire of images which mean things to us no matter where we come from. But there are other examples, of course, like right here. You'll notice that in many countries, news broadcasts look very similar. And you might get a different bias or a different interpretation from different countries or different sources. But we all kind of experience global events through this similar layout of image, text, speaker. I want to ask it this way. Can you picture any global event not in this format? Think about it. Think of any global event, refugees, global warming, politics. Try to think of it not in terms of these news type images. I think you can't do it, right? So they're part of that experience. And there's another example. Does anyone know this platform, Vine? Did anyone know Vine? 数年前ぐらい終わったけど、 Well, it was this idea of making like 9-second videos. So what was interesting to me is that certain types, certain cultural groups of creators got globally popular. So some of them were Japanese viners and also African-American viners. So these kind of groups developed this sense of humor that was, of course, culturally and linguistically, culture and language were different, but the same kind of timing, the same kind of material through this platform and the images it allows. So that's kind of complicated, but the point is that to be able to represent the world, represent yourself through media forms, and also to see media as part of that group of language, culture, politics, discourse, that's essential for participating in the world, for intercultural communication, for global citizenship or activism. So kind of being mediated is part of being in the world, this kind of active view of what media is. And there's a media scholar, I'm not going to say his name right, but Paul Mihailidis, he calls it civic media literacies. And so for me, this has been very important idea to connect this to the global education, which is part of iCoToBa's mission. And it connects deeply to this kind of globally focused foreign language education. Learning a language and learning to appreciate media are both civic and cultural methods for getting beyond our own local context in order to connect with the world. So I think that's very important for our center. So all that's behind us. Let's move to the projects. So let me introduce the projects now. So you have the first one. This was the first idea. It was a collaborative project with the refugee advocacy NGO, Door to Asylum Nagoya. We did this the second semester of the 2019-2020 school year. So I think many Kendai students are kind of concerned with the refugee issue in the world. We kind of see it as this global issue, but many people don't really know the details about it. Me neither. So our project was to kind of learn about the refugee situation in a way that made sense for regular young adults, and to make an English and Japanese video which is easy to understand. And the video also would highlight Dan, Door to Asylum Nagoya's activities in our video and be useful to them. And so we worked with Ms. Hadano, the representative Dan. She's here today, I think. Hello, hi. Okay. And so we would teleconference to share information. She consulted with us about the research, and she's in an interview we will see. And it's a full 20-minute video about that topic, the refugees and the global situation. And students broke into teams of 2 or 3 people and worked in separate sections to produce content, to write the script, recite their lines, etc. And so that's one of the videos I'll show clips of today. So the second one was last semester. This is called Introducing Our Japan. So this was part of what we called a remote video project. And so it was in response to the global coronavirus situation when face-to-face classes were canceled. So that was a big disappointment for doing many types of projects, but it was also a chance, I thought. It was to make an open-ended kind of ちょっと開いた感じの video project. So let's make a video without all people ever meeting in the same room. 全部別々で作る。Now, of course, towards the end, luckily, the coronavirus kind of 一時的に下がってくれたから、the teams could go out, as you see, in masks and work safely together as well. But yeah, this was much more process-oriented. So the students discussed and developed their own theme, their own theme through a set of guided discussions in English. So they settled on this idea of introducing our Japan. So like a local culture with a tourist emphasis. So it's not as political as the refugee one, but it's still this idea of kind of broadcasting your local position, your local worldview, but especially with a positive message during this kind of sad and stressful time of coronavirus. So I think there is a very important global imagination in this one as well. And as you can see, this will be a compilation of 4 smaller videos. So one discusses food in Gifu. I'll show you a piece of that. And another one is lessons on the origin of kanji. You'll see that. One is a walking tour of Nagoya. And the fourth is like a Morikoro diary. So they're both interesting there. So, all right. So I've talked quite a bit so far. So what I'm going to do now is show the videos first, and then I'll move into kaisetsu with them. Okay. All right. So start with the refugee project. Unshare. Okay, so as I said, this is going to be a short clip session of it. You won't see the whole video here, but you'll see a shortened version of it. So here we go. Can everyone see it? Okay.
はい、ともえ。
はい、和幸。
What are you doing?
I'm reading an article about refugees.
Why? That's an issue for countries at the world. It's got nothing to do with Japan, right?
I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Do other Japanese students have the same idea as you?
If you care so much, let's ask our fellow student.
We wanted to find out what our fellow students know about refugees, so we made a survey.
Excuse me, こんにちは。
こんにちは。
一つ質問があるんですけどいいですか？
はい。
難民について何か知っていることはありますか？
なんも知らんかな。なんかわかる？
なんか国に入れなくなった人みたいな、そんな感じですかね。
ありがとうございます。It seems like many students just don't know about refugees.
We also did a written survey. Here are some of the answers we got. If you learned that refugees lived in your neighborhood, how would you feel?
I'd feel a little scared. Who are them? I'd feel bad for them. It would be hard to speak to them freely.
We need to figure this out.
So let's learn about refugees. Yukiko!
Here we are. So we did a little research and here's what we found. And it's true that the journeys of refugees are hard. So is life in the camps.
80% of refugees are women. Children are victims as well. They suffer from exploitation, abuse, and violence even after they get to the camp. Sometimes they don't have enough food. Women especially suffer from malnutrition and they must care for their children and are unable to receive medical treatment.
I think I understand the world situation a little better now. Refugees are really suffering. Yes, I definitely feel bad for them. But it still feels so far away. It's not really connected to us in Japan, right?
Wrong! These issues are here in Japan too. So, the situation is dark here too. But there are many support groups trying to help. Actually, we went to meet one of them.
On December 11th, 2019, we went to downtown Nagoya and met with Maho Hadano, a member of the NPO Door to Asylum Nagoya, or DAN for short. They offer legal support for refugees seeking asylum. They are reliable safe haven for refugees in our area. So I was excited to hear what Ms. Hadano had to say.
ダンでは
まずは、難民の方、この東海地域に暮らす難民の方一人一人への支援っていうのをやっています。で、その支援、個別の支援っていうのは、大きく分けて生活面の支援と、法律面の支援、生活定住面の支援と、法律面の支援というのがあります。全国共通だと思うんですけども、最大の問題は、難民として認定されないっていうことです。で、難民として保護されるべきと思う人でさえも、なかなか難民として認定されていないのが、日本の現状で、それは愛知県でも同じです。で、難民として認定されないっていうことはどういうことかっていうと、やはり生活が安定しないっていうことですね。で、ずっと不安定なまま待ち続けないといけない。で、最悪の場合は、その迫害が待ち受ける母国に返されるっていう状況の人たちがたくさん、この愛知県にも暮らしているっていうことです。
So, for most refugees in Japan, the hard part is waiting and worrying.
But refugees aren't staying still. They want to participate in society. Isn't that right, Hayato?
Yes, that's right. Refugees are not just waiting around to be accepted. They want to become active members of Japanese society.
In fact, there are awareness events you can join with refugees all over Japan. Awareness events are chances to learn more about refugees and their situations.
In Nagoya, where we live, Dan sponsors many of these events. They are leaders in helping refugees and locals connect.
Sounds great. Let's take a closer look at these events.
First, there are some seminars about the refugee situation, where dance staff explain their work and the situations of the refugee they help. These are the direct chances to know about refugee issues in detail.
Here's our can-do list. Use the internet to learn about refugee situation, not just abroad but in Japan too.
Tell your friends and family what you know about refugees.
Go to Dan's webpage and join the events.
Read or watch the news in your daily life. Learn more about what's going on in the world.
Donate to NPO groups like that.
That's what we know so far. We still have a lot to learn, but we think it's a good start.
Okay, very nice. All right. Well done. Yay. Okay, great. All right, let's move on to the second video, the introducing our Japan project. So I'm going to open it up and share again. So as you will see, this is a very short clips of the 4 different videos. So I'm sorry for members, we can only show a little bit of your videos, but don't worry, the link will be there. And I encourage everybody who's not in that project to watch the full video so you can see their full range of contents. Can everybody see it? Seeing okay? Okay. And next is hearing. You hear music?
If you are thinking of visiting Japan in the future, where do you want to go? Tokyo, Osaka, or Kyoto? Those cities are super attractive places, but you should also get to know some less famous but equally charming spots in Japan.
We're 2 students who live in Gifu Prefecture, and we'd like to begin with a survey of Gifu's popular tourist spots for this video.
Gifu Castle, erected on the top of Mount Kinka by the great General Nobunaga Oda. Tourists can hike Mount Kinka on ride-on cable car to reach to the top. A wonderful view of the landscape awaits every traveler.
This is Tajimi City, located in the east part of Gifu. Now, we are going to introduce gohemochi, the local food of Tajimi. There is rice around a skewer and a sauce which tastes sweet on rice. Gohemochi was featured in a Japanese drama, which is called Hanbun Aoi. So, do you want to eat gohemochi? Unfortunately, it's difficult to visit Gifu and buy gohemochi these days because of the coronavirus. But don't worry, we can make gohemochi at home too. First,
Hello everyone, I'm Yuka and
I'm Akane.
we are Aichi Prefectural University students and we made this video for our project in iCoToBa.
iCoToBa is the multilingual learning center in Aichi Prefectural University.
So today, we'd like to give you a lesson about kanji, the Chinese characters which are used to write Japanese.
We also will explain some Japanese words which you might see in Japan quite often.
We will mainly talk about the origin of a few kanji. We hope this video will help you to understand kanji and Japanese.
Now, are you ready to learn kanji?
Let's get started.
When you ride on the train in Japan, you might see this sign. It says Yusenseki. Seki is seat in English, but how about Yusen? Let me explain.
Yusen can be translated as on a word priority in English. So Yusenseki is a priority seat. You will see that kanji not only in a train, but also in other situations. So I'd like to explain the meaning of the kanji.
This is the origin of you.
The left side represents human. The right upper part expresses the head of a human. And the middle part is a heart. The bottom part is legs.
Hello, I'm Moe. I'm Manaka. We are going to take you on a one-day trip around Nagoya, our city. First, we introduce about Nagoya.
Next, we are going to go to Sakae. You get off at Sakae Station on the yellow Higashiyama line. We arrived at Sakae. Sakae is the main downtown area and shopping district. In Sakae, you can find many brand name outlets and fashionable boutique stores. You'll have a nice time here, even just window shopping. Here is Oasis Sakae. You can see the beautiful scenery from here. We arrived at Osu and we'll start our eating tour. Karaage is Japanese-style fried chicken. Ichigo-ame is a candied strawberry. Tornado potato is a uniquely shaped French fry. We are back at Nagoya Station. We've eaten a lot, but if you are still hungry, there are nice options around Nagoya Station.
Don't you just love to spend the day outdoors with a friend? In our video, we are going to introduce you to one of the great spots in Aichi Prefecture for a day out. It's the kind of place that makes a friendship blossom in one day. We've come to Morikoro Park. It was the site of the 2005 World Expo in Aichi and remains today as a huge public park. Look at how big it is. The average temperature is 29 degrees today, so it's very hot. Morikoro Park is in Nagakute, a small city just outside Nagoya, and you can get there by linear magnetic train. Look, Morizo and Kikoro are welcoming us. They were the mascots of the expo and they are still here today.
Then let's go have a picnic. There is a lot of lawn space, so we can have our own picnic anywhere. This spot looks good. We are now preparing for our picnic. It's a nice day, perfect picnic weather. We prepared our own food, sandwiches, and some snacks. It was very delicious. We are full now, so we feel like having a little fun. The two of us play with soap bubbles. I bought a type that makes many soap bubbles at once. We both used to play with this when we were children, so it feels nostalgic and so fun.
Okay. All right. Okay, great. Yes. Yay. Very nice. Good. All right. Okay. We're a little behind schedule, so I'm just going to very quickly talk about the kind of project structure a little bit. Then I'm going to leave the rest to the students. Yes. Okay. All right. Sharing. Okay. Slideshow. Okay. All right. Okay, so as you've seen, both these projects have been kind of like big experiments for our center. As I told the refugee project many times, this is the first time we've ever tried this. I don't know what I'm doing, kind of. And even with the remote project, it was, oh no, coronavirus happened, what do we do? So it's kind of been a process of doing, then theorizing, or then planning. But slowly, I've kind of started to see the kind of structure that we've done and that has had value for us. And yeah, it's based on, again, that view of Mihail's view of civic media literacy's concept. So the basic phases of the project are based on sets of kind of value-based questions that see both media, audiovisual forms, and foreign language as part of kind of a unified goal of sharing a worldview through media and English. So in the first phase, it's like a planning. It's about kind of gaining that world picture and then understanding how that picture can appear in media. So like for the refugee class, we brought in some news articles or topics. We discussed what we learned, what we knew already, and what we thought about the refugee issue, and then how we wanted to show that information. And for the remote video project class, it was more like basic project planning skills. So we went through processes of brainstorming, proposing ideas, things like that. And a key part of this is looking at other media. So like in the refugee class, we watched refugee documentaries, also PSAs from other NGO dantai and things like that. And then we looked at them as possible ways of representing, thinking about the images, the text, the sounds, the combinations that they use to tell their story about refugees and which ones we could use in our project. And in the remote project, we looked at many genres of online videos, different types of like vlogs or diaries, things like that. And then we talked about which ones we liked, which ones were good for us to do our own project as well. And of course, this step is where you also talk about things like your target audience, things like privacy issues, also copyright issues here. Then that's done all together. And then you kind of break into teams, and then each team kind of starts to build their skills and plan their part more predictably. So it means also gaining media skills as well. So like in the refugee project, we had a few camera technique days where we practice filming and also practice speaking in front of the camera. And you saw in the kanji lesson, Akane-san found that video, Akane, what is the name of that video animation software? I forget.
Animation software, not the Premiere Pro.
No, the one you used to do the animation of your.
Wait a few seconds, please. Sorry. I think I used Photoshop or.
Oh, that was Photoshop. Oh, okay, you used Photoshop.
Yeah, I use Adobe software.
Okay, that's
Yes.
good. Yeah, okay. So yeah, figuring out, that's a question of access, of right, getting the tools to make your vision come true, something like that. And then of course the language learning aspect, right, doing the script and checking there. Then we move on to the phase 3 of actually putting it together. Now this part is always very, very messy because again, we're not professionals. Like me, my background is in analysis and critical things, not production. So I'm still learning and many things come up. But that's also part of the process of kind of entering this world of language, media, society, and kind of acting as best we can to produce our world picture for other people. Now, of course, some people might be interested in where the foreign language comes in. And my approach has been what they call a multi-literacies approach, kind of developed in Europe, I guess. So like PBL, it's kind of based on language application rather than language learning. So students use already acquired target language for critical and communicative tasks within a multimedia environment. At the same time, they're learning to use the audiovisual media and learning about what they're talking about. And so language instruction comes for reducing barriers to participation or to introduce concepts or also to fulfill discursive goals. So like, for example, things like in the planning phase, you could have modules on task-based, like how to give opinions, how to brainstorm, things like that. And also content-based lessons, you could do news articles, things like this. Also for the skill building, maybe sometimes you need glossary of film terms, you need phrases for surveys, things like this. And of course, in this phase, I do native check and pronouncing. So one of the key tools is, of course, the storyboard. Everyone wrote these. These are, from the remote video project. Now, storyboards are used to make professional media projects as well. And of course, these don't have to be professional artists. These can be very simple. But it's the idea, again, as you see, of using what you want to say in English with what you want to say audiovisually as well, and trying to represent that so other teams in the project can understand it. So it's part of this idea of multi-literacy participation. And in the refugee project, we had this timeline of our video, and this kept getting adjusted as we discussed, as we learned new things. So these kind of processes of not just using the language, but using kind of visual techniques as well. Okay, so we're getting towards the end, only a few more minutes. So I'd like to take this time now to kind of get some, 参加者のご感想は? Hi. Can I hear some from the refugee project? I hope at least a couple people will speak. And they just, Anna, yeah, please go ahead.
日本語でも大丈夫ですか？
全然大丈夫、はい。
はい。そうですね。あんまりその難民っていう言葉自体も知られてない中で作るとなると、どういう情報を入れようかとか、どういうふうに伝えようかとかっていうのを結構みんなで相談して工夫をしたなっていうのがすごく印象に残っていて、私としては日本にいる難民の方とか世界の難民の方の現状っていうのを伝えたいと思ったのと同時に、今回肌野さんご協力してくださったと思うんですけども、そういった日本においてもそういう難民とか外国人の方を支援する団体っていうのがあって、そこで懸命にやってらっしゃる方もいるし、かつその団体の人たちとかつ難民の人が一緒に頑張って活動してるっていうのが今回のビデオを通していろんな人に伝わればいいなと思いました。以上です。
ありがとうございます。Thank you. Yeah, great. Couple other people from the refugee project. Anybody? Hayato, you're a 卒業生 and 大学院生. So, okay, are you still thinking about refugees now?
Not actually refugees,
Oh, okay.
but it was good chance to know about the global situation. Not only global situation, but also Japan situation. Yeah, some students in my major studies about the social inclusion. So not only refugees, but also technical interns from Vietnam. So I noticed that there are so many problems in Japan too, related to the international.
Okay. So the refugee project was kind of a start of that. Okay.
Yes.
Very nice. Good. Okay. Any other people? Try to get one more comment from the refugee project first. Anybody? Hi. 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 Somebody? Akari and or Tomoe?
日本語でいいですか？
大丈夫です。はい。
そうだな。自分たちでそのビデオを作って、その社会問題について発信するっていうのがまず初めての経験だったので、私にとっては。学生でもこうやって団とかそういう活動をしているところと連携して、こういうなんか社会問題の発信ができるんだなっていうのはすごい自分にとって経験でしたし、これを機会にいろんな人が日本の問題知ってくれるのは本当に嬉しいことだなって思いました。
ありがとう。はい。あかり賛成。はい。Okay, good. All right, let me hear a few things from the more recent project, the refugee project, the remote video project. Yeah, one thing we noticed that was for the refugee project, みんなは違う学年だったけど、みんな国際関係学科だったよね。But the refugee project, the remote project had a wide variety of people, including from non-外国語学部, like for 石川さん、萌さん、you're ね。日本文化学部ですよね。じゃあ、ちょっとご感想は日本語で大丈夫ですよ。
はい。一部なので、日本文化学部なので、その英語のスキルとかは、他の外国語学部の人に比べたら、やっぱりないところがあるんですけど、先輩方とか先生とかから、英語の表現のアドバイスとか発音のアドバイスとかをたくさん受けたので、それでちゃんと動画を作れたので、すごいいい英語の勉強にもなったかなっていうふうに思いました。
ありがとう。他の人 Anybody else in the project? Don't be shy. Remote video people. Anybody is okay. Anybody? Everybody's being quiet. Akane, what do you think?
So although the coronavirus has
muted.
The coronavirus has been expanding, so it was difficult to do in remote. Very difficult to do in remote. But I think it was really good experience by using Zoom, having a Zoom meeting every week and filming sometimes filming, go to film and edit video, and our team did voice recording. We did voice recording, so that was also good to know the how do we say not editing skill, but using oh my god, Japanese 日本語が出てこない。Sorry. なんだっけ、機械の技術が
Yeah, technical skills.
Technical skills have improved, I think. So it was also good to do in remote. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, very good. Yeah. Right. Maybe one more person from the remote video project. Any thoughts? Haruna, do you want to say something? You're also 国際関係。
はい、じゃあ、日本語で喋ろうかなって思います。今回オンラインだったんですけど、結構やっぱり今、あかねちゃんが言ってくれたみたいに、学校行くのも大変だし、人と会うのも大変っていう中で、しかも初めて会う人たちと一緒にやるっていうのはなかなか大変だったんですけど、 ストーリーボードとか書くのも初めての体験でしたし、結構こうアナリシスみたいなことができてすごい楽しかったなっていうふうに思います。あとはですね、他の人たちの難民のプロジェクトの方々の方のやつを見て、すごいなと、団結感があるし、なんかこう分かりやすいんですよね、すごく構成が全体の。で、それすごいなって、オンラインだったらこんな感じでみんなでできたかもなとか思うんですけど、グループごとに分かれるのも良かったかなっていうふうに思います。あとはですね、あともう1点だけ、そうですね、他のこのリモートプロジェクトのやつでも、なんか自分のビデオにはないアイディアとか、例えばね、あかねちゃんところみたいに、なんかこう、イラストレーターじゃないですかね、フォトショップなんですかね、みたいな、そういう。
アフターエフェクトでした、あれ。
アフターエフェクト使ってたのすごいね。で、なんかすいません、めっちゃため息。そう。で、なんかそういう他の子たちの技術とか、私の知らないことを見せてもらったなっていうふうに思います。ありがとうございます。
ありがとう。Very good. Yeah. So I'm very glad to hear that. 僕がメリットになると思ったものの他にも、みんながメリットを感じてるのは、すごいな。それもあるなっていう。もちろん、there's a lot of things. Let me actually share. I won't share my screen. We're almost done. I want to finish up. But yeah, there's a few, obviously, these are all very experimental. There are many things that didn't work out so well. I think timing is a very thing, especially in the refugee project. It was so ambitious and so big. We kind of had to rush things at the end, the actual production phase, and we missed out on a lot of skills. For example, I really wanted you guys to edit your own video, but we had so much to do, and I think we did a lot there. And in the remote project, we couldn't do the voice coaching, which we did a little bit, but one good thing about having the time face-to-face for the refugee project was sitting down with the script and making sure our English intonation not just was correct, but also had the emotion we wanted, right? So that's the good thing about audio-visual media. It's not just, do you have the right grammar? It's, are you speaking in the way that you want? Is your emotional message coming through? Ne? And that's important. So we didn't get to do that so much in the remote project. So there's always more to do than we have one semester. So working on that timing is a future effect for me. Also as well, learning the technology better and finding out where students need help and where they don't need help is important as well. But I do have plans. I want to make more video projects, like another collaborative human rights project. One of the things that we had come up in the video, the refugee project, was the idea of letters from refugees, right? 難民からの手紙っていうアイディアが出たけど、結局しなかったけど、それも、まだ花尾さんがいらっしゃれば、それいいかもねと思ってる。だからそれ未来のプランでもある。あとで、there's another, because of coronavirus, there's the idea of a video intercultural communication. So I know a few, people who teach at American universities, and we've talked about doing pen pal systems or something. But it might be nice to level that up and turn that into some kind of collaborative intercultural media project as well. So that's an idea as well. So, idea いっぱいある。だから、So, anyone else want to make a comment? Anybody? 肌野さん。Yeah?
Sorry. Could you share the URL of the tool bar?
Indeed, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah. Let me get it before I forget. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, I told you I would. Okay, chat. So I'm opening the chat. There they are, the two links there. So get them while they have them. Okay. Hadano-san, any comment from you or are you okay?
ありがとうございます。今回このような機会をいただけて本当にありがとうございました。難民の問題に関して言いますと、本当に難民の方の、プライバシーを守ることを最優先として考えた場合に、難民の方自身が表に出て顔を出したりですとか、名前ですとか自分のストーリーを公表するっていうこと自体が、その方や、国に残っている家族を危険な目にさらすという問題があってですね、こういうふうに アドボカシーというか、一般の方に知っていただく素材を作ることがすごく難しいという課題をずっと抱えてきていたんですけども、今回ハック先生そして皆さんのおかげでとてもいい理解促進、難民の理解促進のための動画が作れたことをすごくありがたいと思っていますし、誇りに思います。皆さん本当にありがとうございました。
はい。ありがとうございます。Okay, so yeah, we'll finish up now. Yeah, thank you so much for everybody to join. I'm glad we could have this meeting of both projects. Now, just to finish, about 4 more minutes. I'm afraid that I don't have one for remote project, remote data kara, but what I do have is a set of outtakes, NG scene from the refugee project, NG shu from the refugee project. So, this is the first time you have seen it. ね、難民プロジェクトの人のNG シーンを集めた。だから今見させていただきます。はい。4分ぐらいかかる。今初めてだから、そこまでひどいことはないけど、みんな見ましょう。で、それで終わります。はい。Hold on. Here it is. はい。じゃあ、シェア。OK、みんな見れる ?OK、here we go。聞こえる
これ NG 集だ。そう NG 集。
Maybe you want a better chair?
No, it's okay.
Okay, here we go.
Use internet to learn about the refugee situation. Not
In Nagoya, Dan sponsors many of these events.
In Nagoya where we live だね。
そうだ。In Nagoya where we live. In Nagoya where we live, they are the leaders.
We need to figure this out.
Let's learn about refugees.
So. Yes, or it seems like students would be afraid of them.
What's that? They are just poor or miserable.
I can't accept that.
Use the internet to learn about the refugee situation, not just abroad in Japan, too.
バツが大事だよ。One more time. You're almost there, I promise.
That's right. These people must go to another country to Japan. An asylum seeker is a refugee who is An asylum seeker is a refugee who currently asking.
Oh, that was so good. So good.
I think those camps are the image that Japanese people.
Japanese people. 小さい2が多く。
Use the internet to learn more about the refugee situation. Not abroad, but not bad.
Yes, and it's closer to our life than you think. ごめんなさい。
It's okay. いいよ。
ちょっと見ていいですか？There are over 90,000 asylum seekers here in Japan now.
I'm hoping to get legal status.
We've been studying international.
Cut. We've been studying.
We have been studying.
Voice was always quiet somewhere.
Use the internet to learn about the situation of refugees.
Donate NPO groups like that.
Donate too.
Read or watch the news in your daily life. What's going on?
We're almost there, I promise. 頑張って。 about refugees
about refugees
and their situation.
and their situation.
Yeah, keep it.
ちょっとごめん。
これ最後。これ最後、最後。
I'm Yuka. ちょっと笑っちゃった。
Yeah. Yeah, one more.
I'm Natsumi. But we use the internet to learn about refugee situation, not just abroad, but in Japan too.
That's it.
Okay. All right. All right. And with that, yeah, we'll finish up. So thank you so much for joining. Yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. And yeah, I'll be in contact, and we'll please keep an eye out for future projects in the next school year as well, if you're still on campus. If you're graduating, おめでとうございます. If not, yeah, I hope to see you again soon. Yes, thank you. Goodbye. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.